PVR. D.Va. Plat. Okay, right, let's go. Let's go. Welcome to Overwatch, and welcome to another episode of Coaching the Many. Today, we're going to be talking all about everyone's favourite Korean, which depends, actually. Everyone's favourite Korean, though, D.Va, right? Everyone loves D.Va. Who doesn't love D.Va? Valkyrie doesn't love D.Va. There's actually a lot of people that don't like D.Va. But she's been integral to the meta for absolutely ages. Like, if you look at all at her, like, pro usage, D.Va is, like, the highest used in pro level play. Hero stats in general, especially at, like, the higher level, D.Va is, without a doubt, there we go, let's bring this over. Let's get rid of this. D.Va at, you know, Master, Grandmaster, even at Diamond, like, she's pretty much up there, right? Like, D.Va is high pick rate, pretty high win rate, pretty good throughout, pretty high pick rate, no matter where you look. D.Va all over the place, and then you get to bronze, and oh look, she's back at top. So D.Va, pretty important, right? She's the off-tank. She's the off-tank of the moment. She's generally just regarded as the most useful off-tank. She did get nerfed recently, and I believe this is recorded after the nerf, because I think this is recorded on like the 15th. Basically, she just lost a lot of her early bump damage, so basically she lost a little bit of damage on when she tries to run stuff over. She also lost some explosives damage with her missiles, so she's missiles, barrages stuff, there's just less damage overall. Alright, I'm gonna drag track this way actually, and all my OBS stuff over here. Let's get started. Excuse me, I'm gonna be trying not to cough where possible, but hey. So this is like low plat, low to mid plat. And you're already feeling it, aren't you? You're already feeling this is mid to low plat. Straight away, you have, like, Insta-Lock Symmetra, Doomfist. So then, let's talk about the person who sent this footage in, first and foremost. They sent in the email saying, hey, yeah, so we lost this game, but I want to learn how to play D.Va better. I'm a support main, but I want to sort of transition into doing something else. So they're looking to diversify, and they're looking to do that with... Did I just see 100... Wait. Go... Okay, no, that's total. Oh, thank fucking Christ. I thought that was like this season, 155 hours of Symmetra. I was like, what? Okay. But yeah, they want to diversify, and they want to do that with D.Va. It's a fine place to start. It's an absolutely fine place to start. She's useful in most comps. You can't really go wrong with D.Va. Now then, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is this team comp. And like this is, I'm sure, is how you feel, right? When you see that you have Symmetra Doomfist. Also, you can see that Razul, who has in a wonderful way, spelt his name in interesting characters just to really annoy all of his friends. Tons of support mains, and then a Doomfist main. So this man's already tilted. Everyone's already tilting all over the place. Now then, very minor thing before we even begin. When you're leaving the door, it's actually a really good idea just to have the defense matrix just flash up just to catch stuff like this. Because as you see that, hey, fire strike just comes right through. This sounds like it's like, oh, that's so nitpicky. It's actually a really big deal, because if you have like all 6 people and they all get hit by this fire strike, that's like 50% ult charge straight away for the Reinhardt. There's a ridiculous gain, right? You actually really want to stop stuff like this happening, because if you don't, the enemy Reinhardt can really start pulling ahead in a big way. Oh look, the enemy has a Symmetra too. Can you tell it's plat? I can tell it's plat. Okay. First things first, if they have a Symmetra, like, catching these orbs is a really big deal, and, like, we're doing a good job of it, just catching, like, big projectiles that we should be catching, the orbs, the fire strikes, things like that, we definitely want to be stopping up. Oh, look, they have a Doomfist, too. Isn't that interesting? During this push, honestly, we don't really have many good options here. We do really want to shut down this Reinhardt as much as possible, so just keep doing what damage you can, get booped away, knocked back, okay, regroup. Okay, we did a good job surviving, honestly. We did right. The hard part here is that their team, like, your team is not good at attacking. So this is going to be a struggle. You can tell things are going bad. You can tell things are going bad, but when Mercy's built an ultimate this quickly and this early in the game, like, no one else is anywhere near it. This is a go signal, and I really liked this little motion here. I thought this was actually really cool. Well, it's like you juke the Doomfist, and you bounce over the Reinhardt barrier and just like land on him. Really good. Now, one of the questions in the email, well, one of the statements in the email was, I don't know how to block Deadeye. You actually do, believe it or not. You are doing it correctly. What's annoying in this situation is that someone should be helping you, because you do everything you can do, and you actually do it all relatively correctly, right? First things first is you just wrap him in the defense matrix, so that if he starts firing, he's not going to be able to fire his way out and can't kill anyone. Great, good job. Now then, Deadeye lasts like 5-6 seconds. It's like quite a long channel. Like, he can hold it for a good while. Defense Matrix lasts like 2-3 seconds. It's really short. So there's no way that you can actually ever outlast the McCree. So what you have to do instead is you have to do exactly what we do here, which is you put the mech in front of him. Because I believe how it works, I believe what happens ideally is that when you get blown out of the mech, he fires all the rest of the shots, but they all go into the mech. And so they don't actually kill anything. They don't actually do any damage. They just all hit the mech. So you are giving your life for the cause, which is a tanky thing to do. The ideal situation is that, hey, someone kills the McCree. But unfortunately, your team went, oh my god, it's the McCree! And they all left. And then you were just sort of stood there. I'd say the only mistake we make is the direction we eject. We eject and we instantly pull towards the point. That's not where we want to be. We want to be going this way. We want to be going back out. We want to be creating distance between ourselves and the targets. Instead, we end up running in. You can see, look. See, this isn't our, like, it's not our fault that this Deadeye gets us, right? Do not worry about this, because this should be, like, pushing in and helping. This should be, Reinhardt should, like, charge that guy or something like that. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing to see, like, everyone just goes, oh no, run away. Right. But yeah, the only thing that we do wrong here is, like, just bouncing inwards. And especially, like, when we see this, it's like, oh no, we don't want to go this way. This is a bad direction to be. And then it's like, oh, hi, Symmetra. And Symmetra's like, hello, and then we die. And then we get a teleporter. And we rightly go, Just full volume, half speed, please.
D.Va re-engaging.
Yeah, I misclicked. I'm gonna swap.
One job. the Symmetra has one job. Okay? There's like one button. I just great, I didn't have to see the Captain Defense Matrix. Great. Yes, the coach is in the chat. I was actually praising of your job on the McCree. It was fine. I just, like, this.
What the fuck do you even play Symmetra?
And then we have this salt mine as well. This lovely human being.
What the fuck do you even play Symmetra?
What the fuck do you even play Symmetra? Look, I agree with the sentiment, but the method of delivery is
Welcome to Overwatch,
lacking.
silly.
Distraction. And BTW, can I got puppy instead of baby?
True story. Okay, true story about my family. So when my mum was pregnant with me, my mum asked my brother, "What do you want?"
Welcome to
he's like,
Overwatch,
look it up to the bump and like, oh, Corey and Michael Moore as well. Thank you so much. Welcome. Beautiful use of that Twitch Prime. Anyway, so my brother's like, the bump's there, and like, Mum, what do you want? And my brother looks up and goes, "I want a bike." And it's like, well, I can't do that. I'm sorry, Samuel. I cannot do that. But a brother or sister, what do you want? And then it's like, oh Jesus. So apparently a bike is what my brother was really after, and instead got me. I know, I would have been disappointed too.
What the fuck do you even play Symmetra?
So yeah, we're having a tough time here because we are trying to attack with Widowmaker and Symmetra. Not the most high aggro, intensity team comp imaginable. Doing stuff like this is fine. This is a good way of building up ultimate. Now remember, the last time we did coaching with the D.Va, we talked a huge amount about the idea of like using playing aggressively when you have the bomb, basically. Like, it changes how you play. We have to change how we play because we have the self-destruct. Okay, so we can be more aggressive. And so we can go and do that. We end up getting caught with the Earth Shatter like this. Okay, just spot of Reinhardt coaching dashed in. If you are going to do an Earth Shatter like this one, it's not a good Earth Shatter at all. Earth Shatter gets thrown in, catches one. If you do this in front of an enemy Reinhardt and the enemy Reinhardt blocks it, first thing an enemy Reinhardt does is Earth Shatter right back. Right? First thing that, well, I'd say like a scrub Reinhardt does. Always be aware of that. Now, this I actually liked because we bail and we don't actually use the bomb. This is correct. Okay? Fight begins. Use the nano. Earthshatter comes in. We try and make a play. Play is cancelled. Okay. Symmetra's died, but then a couple of our people die. We go super low. Our team's dying. We're not really making any progress. Okay, we bounce out and we just get out. Honestly, we are fine doing that. The fight was already over. Throwing a D.Va bomb in there would not help anything. Correct. Good job taking the time as well. I like the patience. I like the fact that we are playing around in this alleyway and not like trying to do anything fancy like poke forward. Even though we picked up a health pack, notice that we only have 100 hit points. We could, if we're feeling bold and spicy, just grab this and then like rocket right back in. So just do like a really quick loop of grab that and then come back here and pick this up. Just to get ourselves a little bit more hit points, but this is honestly fine just to get some ult charge.
Thank you.
So there we go. Okay, good job. Continue eating the orbs. This is a spicy ball bomb. Jesus, we got lucky there. So I'm okay-ish with this bomb. The only thing I don't like about it is that we don't really get a good look at what we're doing. We just sort of lob it and hope. And like the spirit of the bomb is okay, but what I would say a better bomb would be, the thing with D.Va bombs is we want to have a good idea of where we want to put it, right? This sounds weird, but we want to have a really, really clear visualization of where we want it to be. I wanted it to land on the balcony thing, yeah. So the way that we do that is D.Va boost goes for a certain duration of time, right? So this is important theory. Get out your pens and pencils, right? Because this is how this works. D.Va boost runs for a certain direction, a certain time. T boost, right? TB. Oh no, now I made myself sad. Right. Let's go with TT for thrust. T thrust. Okay? The amount of time you have for thrust. When you activate the self-destruct, this still goes on, right? So if you activate the bomb here, then the bomb has this thrust, right? T... I'm almost going to do B again, or whatever. TB, okay. For the bomb. So we have thrust and bomb. And so the bomb has whatever leftover thrust is there. So what you'll see pro players do, for example, is like pretend that this is a top-down view. Okay, this is D.Va. Right, she's got like a little pod here and a little pod here, and she's got like bunny ears up here, right, and the guns are here, right. This is D.Va. What you'll see them do is I don't know why I spent so much time drawing this when I had to delete it immediately. God damn it. What they'll do is instead of just like throwing the bomb, they will do like a little loop and then they'll throw the bomb. And this just burns away some of the thrust. So that's how we control that. And so what we need to think is, where do we want to place this bomb? How do we want to do this? And so actually, let me see if I can get like Hanamura point A. See if there's a good top-down view. Map. There's a good one for point B. A couple of good ones for point B. That'll kind of work. I think this is more for map callouts, but no, that's not quite good enough. Is this for like all of Hanamura? Defender spawn area. That is for all of Hanamura, and that's overcomplicated. This'll do, I think. This'll do. Okay. So this is, again, people trying to figure out call-outs. Don't worry too much about these, honestly. The way that Blizzard fixes this is have it pop up in-game when you stood somewhere and have it call it something. Spoiler, that's how you educate people. Okay, so what we did was we launched in and we just like launched the bomb up. And so it's going to detonate like in the middle of the front yard, apparently, as we've learned from Kill Ping. I would just say courtyard. So in the middle of the courtyard is where the bomb lands. It's honestly not a bad place to land it. The only issue is that on this choke point, people are just going to run in here and run this way. Okay, the pink is not helping here. Let's try blue. There we go. Still not the greatest, but hey. So people are just going to run this way, which is kind of what ends up happening. If you want to get a good D.Va bomb in here, one of the best ways to do it is actually to get up here and then like just let it drop down. And you want it to land like here-ish. You want it to be able to either catch in here or catch like this pathway here. Right, so if you can like put it here and park it right where people defend, that's actually a really powerful location. Best way to do that is to just go up here and then like let it just coast down from up top. And then you can just eject back behind the wall here. The other thing that we could do is we could just not try and do the fancy bomb. Like, we could just try and go in, play aggressively, and just run people down, and then just let the bomb be used as a recycle. If you're trying to learn D.Va, that is the smarter thing to do, in general. Right? Don't worry too much about the fancy bombs. If you do want to worry about fancy bombs, look up guides on the internet about how to position them correctly. There's plenty of them. Spend some time in, like, solo games, like alone, just on the maps, just flinging bombs around and get the feel for where they land. Like, you can really become very effective with that. This always sucks. And yeah, we get right back into the mech and straight away we're back out of it again because we're remeching and like our team isn't initiating super well because they're in plat, so kind of ends up happening. The sad part there as well is that the D.Va bomb, wow. Rude. The sad part there is the D.Va bomb also didn't kill the turrets. Sucks. What about right in the door? I'm less of a fan of right in the door. I prefer, like, again, I like it to catch the corridor here and the corridor here. Like, if you cut those off, because people generally scramble to go into that corridor, you can generally actually catch it a little bit more. And, like, throwing it from above here, throwing it from down here is, like, the way to do that. Hey, Ryan, thank you for the host. Hopefully the stream went well. Hopefully you won some. Looks like the team's winning anyway because you actually have like DPS pieces, and they have a Doomfist. Hey, you blocked one. You actually you blocked it. Like, I don't know why you're worried about the high noons. Again, there is no good solution here. You catch the one aimed at you. You don't stop the one aimed at the Widow. Honestly, the Widow should have dropped down. That's her own fucking fault in the first place. So don't worry about that. Definitely get in here. Like, we should be playing aggro here. Go aggro, 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 aggro. Why am I shouting aggro? Why am I shouting this word aggro? Because Infraside is up, and I can see how many people are there, or how many people aren't there. There are 2 people here, we have 3 people here. Do you know who wins this? It's just a simple matter of quick maths, in theory. Unfortunately, I think the Mercy's pussied out. Mercy, no, go res the right.
No, for fuck's sake, switch.
Okay, this is
You
really
should go
irritating.
in, like all of them are that besides Ryan.
I like the fact that we
Like,
ignored the
are that.
person saying the stupid shit. We could have been a little bit more aggro here. Like, it's still you and a Mercy, and what you can do is try and stop up this doorway. Mercy gets a res on the Reinhardt, and then you're suddenly back to 3 versus 2 over here. Like, when you have a support, especially in that situation, like if we go back to this situation, think about like the abilities and stuff that the enemy's using. Right? So hook is down, shot's down, big bit of burst damage. He's used his self-heal, and now he's taking a shitload of damage. Oh no, he's used his self-heal now, so he's on 300 hit points. Like, we're pretty good. We can take space here. Like, he's used his hit, Roadhog's backing off, we can take a little bit of space here. And try and just make sure that, you know, this can come back up, because if Mercy gets that res, that's huge. It means you can actually take advantage of the situation over here. But Mercy just wanders around anyway, and yeah.
You should go in, like all of them are that besides Ryan.
I like the fact that we ignored this, because it's completely wrong. We know it's wrong, and we don't just do something stupid. It's like, they're all dead. It's like, really? There's like 5 people still alive. Good, just take some space. We want to be closer to the corner here, so one of the things we should be doing as D.Va is think about, like, I mean, I talk about effective range a lot, but this is a good moment to talk about it. If we think about, like, at this particular moment, D.Va's effective range is, like, here, right? We can kill things really, really well if they're, like, this distance, and then we can do a lot of damage. If they're, like this, so the enemy team pulls back here, okay, we're not going to be effective unless they really super hard engage. So we're not actually going to be able to do much there. But because their team backed away, what we can do is that we can actually just go and take this space. So we can actually just go and take this space. Like, we can absolutely just take this corner here, and then we're in a really good position. Because now we can start peeking around and start shooting people around here, for example. We can control their access to the point. If Doomfist jumps in, we just, like, rush in and just kill him. We can do a lot of stuff from there. From over here, though, not so much. So we should be, like, playing closer to this wall. And just sort of shutting them down here. And the cool thing about this... Like, if we were closer to this corner... So if we were like about 2 steps to the right, this is a really cool feeling moment for us, because what's going to happen is he's going to come down, he's going to try and hook us, but if you're close enough to this wall, then you just sidestep and hook 2.0 triggers and you don't pull. You don't get pulled in. So we can make him actually waste his hook as well. And he's no problem for us. Just block. Shadowed, okay. Good, correct. They don't mind, like, I like the aggression. We have people on the point. We can be a little bit more mobile. We could, if we're feeling flash, if we're feeling fancy, you can just rocket boot, like, rockets on the way in here as well. Just like rocket, like, just unleash a salvo of huge amounts of damage. But honestly, it's not the biggest detail in the world. The moment we get into this position, this guy's dead. So it all works out. And I like the fact that we didn't lose track of him when we boop him. So many D.Vas I see in Coaching the Many, like, you boop the target and suddenly they, like, lose complete track of the target. We don't end up doing that, which is good. I like the fact that we're following the Reinhardt. Follow the Reinhardt. Looks like they want to go to high ground. This is an unusual moment. Shadow is what I'm really worried about here. The Rhino wants to go in. What the frig? Don't. That's not your job. Yeah. It sounds like a weird thing to say, because it kind of is your job. But, like, this situation is super weird in the first place. Because it's like, I think that's a Junkrat. And it's like, what? The Junkrat's just, like, peeking over here and not even shooting, which is strange. When you see a Junkrat not firing, then you see the Winston doing stuff, and it's like, okay, that's a bit strange. Meanwhile, our entire team's going through here. The Winston jumps out. This is, like, we cannot solve this, okay? So what I want is you to put this out of your mind. I thought someone was going to flank. You should be worried about that, but we shouldn't be so worried about that we're not capitalizing on opportunities. So we'll cover that. I'll keep that in mind, though, because it's the correct idea, but there's ways for us dealing with that. This we cannot solve, right? It's just like, this is on the Widow at this point, right? The Widow just needs to drop away, grapple off, and then just lead this Winston around on a merry chase, okay? They need, like, the Widow needs to force this to be a 5 versus 5. That's honestly good. That's good for you guys. So the fact that we start running towards this is a little bit concerning to me, because it's like, okay, that isn't quite correct. But, okay, whatever. What I would like to see is us use this boost more aggressively and try and get up here onto this high ground straight away. We have D.Va Bomb, so we can play aggressively. Remember, always keep that in mind, that we have the D.Va Bomb and we can play aggressively. So we want to be doing that. And D.Va Bomb in here is actually quite a big deal. Okay, there's a Torbjorn turret in the distance. I'm not keen on how passive we are, though. Like, sure, we could put some pressure on this Winston, but I'd rather see us just playing more aggressive on the front line, just exerting pressure on the point, because then they have to come and deal with us anyway. And we want to kind of push them onto the point regardless. Like, I want to kind of mention that, like, the Reinhardt is getting... Like, just take a look at the Reinhardt here. He's, like, pushing his way down, and he's, like, doing this pretty much on his own, where he'll just push his way down and kill, like, 2 people over here, and then make his way through here. We could very easily be playing, like, close... We can either just drop down and do some damage up here. I'm fine with us isolating the Winston. But I think I'd still prefer to see us just drop down onto the point at this point. Like, you guys are already winning. You can just knock this guy away. And then we could just go play point. Like, especially now, after these kills come through, it's like, holy shit, yeah. Now is the time to get on the point. Effective range, we're not doing anything here. Let's get on point. Good. Press Q. Notice that this Reinhardt is not impacting the point at this point. Okay.
Looks like they were just I'm on the objective.
If they would have engaged them, yeah, I would have liked to like an earlier engagement when the Winston is away would have paid dividends here. At this moment, I'm less keen on the aggression towards the spawn. I'm fine with us like hunting down the Mercy a bit, but I think you stop here. Right, we just stop before we end up going all the way into that spawn. Because they have to come to the point, right? They have to come into close range of us, and that's really good for us because we have short effective range. And what's even better for us is even if they kill us, as long as we have a little bit of space to breathe and move around and defend, then we can just... we just do this, and we win. So now how the rest of this fight goes. I think this is the platinum effect, where it's like, in my mind, it's like, okay, this fight is over. The enemy team have won because they are respawning faster and should be killing the rest of your team. But it's like, wait, hang on, hang on. This isn't how this goes. Very minor thing. I'm fine with us firing missiles, but I want to see us just moving. Like, left-clicking here is not actually helping as much as you think it is. It's really doing minimal amounts of damage. Really minimal amounts of damage. The drop-off is kind of insane. Oh, shit. That is a big ult. Good target focus as well. Very nice. Very nice. And that's the plat effect, where I can't call fights, because... they should have won that, but they didn't. The way to read and play around the plat effect is just keep an eye on like how much, like keep an eye on the kill feed and keep an eye on how many people are still alive on the point. This person is like literally my least favorite human being in Overwatch. First of all, plays an aggressive Symmetra and then just locks in the Mei. Just, okay. I don't mind the Mei. The Symmetra annoys me a lot more than the Mei, being real. But I'm gonna bring out the Zarya? No? Oh, go D.Va straight away from Razul. I like how we're considering it. We're just taking a while. D.Va, you cannot go wrong with D.Va, and honestly, I would say that on defense, Zarya is not a great option. It's a lot harder to get working. You might be thinking in terms of like combos, for example, of like, well, Zarya Mei is actually really strong because you Blizzard and Grav and you just win. Yeah. Mickey gave a really good piece of advice on the stream. Your job is to take space, peel, and kill the enemy, not tickle them. Yes, I completely agree with that. Like, you cannot... just spend some time in the practice range is what I'd say. Spend a little bit of time in the practice range just shooting at things from like medium distance as D.Va. And then try shooting them at close range. And try shooting them at long range. And feel how different the effectiveness is. Because you really need to like internalize that different level of effectiveness. And if you're playing ranked or quick play, then get used to how it feels when you're up close and you're shooting something, or something big like a Winston. Like if you're just shooting into a Winston or a Roadhog, and how effective that feels and how strong that feels. And then when you're shooting at like a Tracer from medium distance, and it's like nothing, right? It just does zilch. Get used to those feelings, because it's honestly very reflective of how effective you are being. That you are way more dangerous up close. Way more dangerous up close. So, I was about to finish your point on the Zarya as well. So Zarya defensively, the issue with Zarya defensively is you don't have, you sort of don't have control of your own charge, really. So as the enemy fights you, if you are on 100 charge and the enemy just backs off, you can't really do anything about that. You can try and force it a little bit, you can try and play a little bit more aggressively, but if the enemy is intelligent about how they manage you, you will actually just burn out charge. Roadhog's a little bit better because when Roadhog like pokes his nose out, throws out a hook, you just kill someone. Zarya doesn't quite have that effect, so keeping that momentum is very difficult. So that's why the Zarya isn't quite as good on defense. I think at this level of play, if like you are good at Zarya, then sure, by all means, but
Time to raise my APM.
this is correct. You could honestly go and continue dealing with this Winston. Sounds like a weird thing, right? But as the off tank, it is kind of your job to handle stuff like this, because you have the mobility to do it, you have the damage to do it, and you have like the resources to do it. If you think about on your team, you have a Mei and you have a Tracer. Who like Mei, Tracer, you, and Reinhardt basically. Who's the best to deal with this? It's you. You have the mobility to keep pace with him. You can do a lot of damage to him. Look at it. He's like terrified as well. The Mei can just kind of scare him off, but the issue with Mei Winston is that the Winston just does this, and then the Mei can't deal with anything. Mei needs to be controlling the fucking choke point, right? So Mei, like, the 100% ideal play here is if people obey you and like listen to you, is Mei, go put your fat ass in the choke point and block that up while I just handle the Winston, right? Because if you think about like who's more effective at this point, well, the Mei can block this off and you can go and hunt down the Winston. But instead the inverse happens, where we kind of end up stopping up the choke point, but this should really be the Mei. Like, the Mei could just put a wall here and then you just deal with the Winston in your own time. Instead, for some reason, Mei is trying to chase around a 600-pound gorilla that's jumping all over the place and has huge jetpacks on his back. Luckily, the Winston just comes back and, hey, dies instantly. Feels good. Oh, imagine a wall. Imagine a wall at that moment. Oh, wouldn't that be amazing? This is literally why you pick Mei. Hey! Cat! Hey, thank you, Cat. Hope all is well. Hope all is good. We're doing some coaching. Doing some D.Va coaching at the moment. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good, I like the bullying. Good, 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 good. Okay. So, a lot of things are changing very quickly at this point. So when the wall goes down, first thing to expect is chaos to unfold. Okay, so first and foremost, the wall is a bad wall. I'm always going to bully bad Meis because they destroy me. Actually, it's an okay-ish wall. Wall comes up, but Doomfist just lands back on it. Okay, whatever. And then it's just a case of, okay, let's just accept the fact that they're going to attack. Let's just accept this factor. And then as they start coming in, okay, they've gone in. So this is when we're in like counter punch mode because they're trying to push in, so we want to punch him back. So we're fine just locking down on the target. Doomfist is a perfectly good target for this. He's a big target. We can hit him. We can do a lot of damage to him. So this is good. And we do it. Now's when we have to change our playstyle. Hi, dude. How are you? I'm pretty good. Hopefully all is good with you. All is all right with you. So the reason why we're changing our playstyle is because. Oh, there we go. Because we can't deal with this. Okay, as D.Va, we have no good way of handling this. We can't stop healing people. We can't stop DPSing us. So we just kind of want to mitigate damage where possible and play defensively while we wait out the coalescence. Because we can't really out DPS it. We can't go and burst her down because she just regenerates. She moves too quickly. It's not realistic to do. So we should be looking for stuff to sort of stop the damage on. So stuff like their McCree, for example, we should be shutting down as much as possible. Staying alive, letting the Mercy do her work. Okay, so far so good. Close that. We should be muscling to the point. Definitely now, muscling to the point. Don't like that bomb. Okay, that was the first bomb that I really didn't like. So we should be, when I say like we should be muscling to the point, it's like, okay, well we got a Valkyrie Mercy. We want to be just stalling things off. This is where I do a bad bomb. See, yes, you know, and that's good. That's good. You know. You understand. So let's talk about why. Why is this a bad bomb? How is this a bad bomb? Okay, so we want to muscle onto the point because we want to just like slow it down. We can still kind of win this fight. Like it's plat. It's anything could happen. So and like people, like a couple of people have died, but yeah, it's still kind of worth fighting over, right? We have Mercy healing us up. If we just muscle onto the point, it's going to take them a while to kill us, and then we can just cycle the bomb. The issue I have with this bomb is we still have like 600 hit points. So we had like this big opportunity to get something done. It's not even like the Deadeye timing and stuff like that that's the relevant factor here. It's the fact that we had like a big resource that we could have used, and we don't end up using it. We could have stalled that point a lot longer. We could have got like a 30-second time, like 30 seconds extra time there, but we don't do so. And so we just end up sort of throwing a bomb at them, and they just stay behind a Reinhardt barrier and then kill us. And that's rough. And it'll say, like,
They're
you'll
coming up
know
on
bad
us,
bombs
I guess.
better the higher level you get. If you start getting into, like, Diamond Master, especially. Like, Master is where it will really start happening. I know it's a far-flung field somewhere, but you will notice it more and more when players get better, that if you have a bad bomb, they will just kill the baby D.Va as you remax, and it will get really, really close.
Get the high ground.
Okay. It's a little bit of damage here. Like, this is just pokey slowly. Honestly, stick on the Winston. Stick on the Winston. D.Va is a monkey bullying machine, ladies and gents. There's if you watch Overwatch League, like, I heartily recommend you do, Agman, if you want to pick up D.Va, because you'll see tons of cool stuff. Like, you'll see Winston's jump in, and the first thing you'll do is you'll see D.Va's just, like, cut them off and, like, bounce them into a position that the D.Va wants. You'll see this on Numbani more often than not, for example. D.Vas will start on, like, a low ground position. The Winston will, let's say, jump up here, and you'll see the D.Va come in and, like, knock the Winston to one side, off targets that they want to land on to stop that damage. It's like a very minor but really cool optimization. That's, like, high-level stuff. The point is, Winston jumps in, you can, like, push Winston further in, and then just punch him and kill him. Winston hates fighting D.Va. So if you see a Winston dive into the backline, you know that he doesn't have that jump for another 6 seconds, so you can probably just go in and beat him up and kill him. Absolutely do so. Okay,
Ryan,
just
come back. Come
go.
back.
Kill this.
And the other
Destroy. Destroy! Good.
Could we not have a Genji?
This machine
Yeah, that too.
was built to screw Omnix. Oh god, sorry. I want, like...
Could we not have a Genji?
The tale of the Doomfist, right?
Yeah, that.
I've got him! I've got him! Yeah, fuck you, right? Oh shit! Oh shit, why am I here? Oh no! Oh, get me out of here! Beautiful. Doomfist, ladies and gentlemen. Effective as ever. He mildly inconvenienced Reinhardt. Also, this Reaper? Okay, who remembers the original trailer? Overwatch original gameplay trailer. Because this guy clearly remembers this trailer. Right? This old trailer. Where it's like... Do you guys remember this one? Because I remember this one, because I remember using this footage 300 fucking times. Right? Isn't this the trailer where Widowmaker's bomb expands as well? Isn't this that trailer? No, it isn't. I think. No, it's not. That was just a different piece of footage. Damn. Oh well. But this guy clearly remembers this trailer because he remembers this cool moment. He remembers this moment. He wants to be this guy, right? Look at the aim! Look at the moves! Look at him! Look at him go! Look at him go! Also, I really like that bass line. That boom, boom. Right, he remembers this trailer. He wants to be that guy. It's actually a really effective thing to do. Like, no joke, it's actually a really good idea. The cool part as well is it makes the Reinhardt's life super difficult, because if he walks in, you start shooting down, he has to turn around and put his barrier up to protect against you. But he can't do that while you are... Oh. I know that we're paranoid about these, so let's finish the point. Like, if you are up here and you are just shooting down, the Reinhardt has to turn and face you. And so his back is to everyone else, and so they all shoot him. So it's actually a really good position. It's a really good position. Everyone knows that's the spot? Yeah, everyone knows that's the spot. It doesn't make it a bad spot. So this, yeah, we found the secret of why people play Attack Symmetra. That trailer. Blizzard set the seed ages ago. And that's the result. Right. I know we're paranoid about these dead eyes, so I'm gonna keep harping on them. So, we're in an awkward situation. Going good. Oh shit. What do? In this situation, because we don't have boost, we're actually in a really, really shitty situation. What I would suggest you do in this situation is you block as long as you can and you jump down. The reason why is all you're doing when you block, like we have half of our matrix, all we're doing is we're trying to absorb up as much time as possible for people to get away. Now, what we could try and do is you could try and just run at him and like fill up his screen, okay? That's one way of doing it. The danger with doing that in this situation is that the Reinhardt will be hitting us and will knock us out the way, so it's not actually a reliable thing to do in this instance. There's too many ways that the Reinhardt could clear us out the way, and then the McCree just kills everyone. So that's the scary part with this. So what we want to do is just buy our team time and then drop out the way so we're still alive, and then come back in, and then we can just fight again. And what we can do as well is after, like, say he shoots someone and kills someone, we just bounce back up and knock people over. Because what we end up doing instead is we kind of do nothing. Whereas we block, and then we kind of just end up standing out here in the middle of nowhere. And it makes him a little bit nervous, but notice that the Moira still dies. So it's like we kind of do neither. So we can either do like a risky maneuver where we just fill up his screen, so that when he fires his shots, he fires them into the mech. That won't actually do damage through. I think that works. I believe that works. I hope that works. It feels like that's how it works. When the D.Va just like flies at you and you just like go bang, 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 bang and don't kill anything except for the D.Va. It's like, hang on. Hang on. Anyway, another thing that we do is the safer play, which is just, well, not this side. You drop down to this side because we're closer, and then you just come back up when you need to. We do have boosts available by the end of it. If you have enough time, then you just boost. You either boost into him or you boost out the way. The worst thing to do is nothing. This looks like trouble. We end up panicking for a second here. Just keep hitting that bunny blaster. Like the fact we pick up the health pack. Nice, press Q. Oh my god, I can't believe this end. Oh no, he got. Okay, I was going for the Reinhardt. Just stall on the point. Nice, just keep doing damage. We almost have a self-destruct. We are playing stall at the moment. How the supports get me alive is not something I expected to happen. Yeah, that was well done by the supports, but this is where I need my soundboard. I need like why. Why would you? Actually, let's get it perfect, okay? So I'm gonna go here. Oh god, why? Okay. Let's talk about stalling as D.Va, guys. This is an important thing to get right. When you are stalling, your objective is to have as much health on the point for as long as possible. We had 600 health. Okay, we had 570 health technically, but well, actually we have 571, and we had healers keeping us alive. We could be doing stuff. Okay, you could be doing damage. You are buying time. All you're doing is buying time for your people who are dead to respawn. You want Reaper to come back. You want Reinhardt to come back. Our objective is just to stay alive until that happens. This doesn't help us do that. This doesn't help us do that. What does help us do that is if they get us down to like 100 hit points, then you rocket up and then you throw the bomb into the air and bounce off up here where you're safe and then remech and then go back in. Holy shit, that's pro as hell. That's incredible. It means that you don't have risk when you're sort of on the floor. You could just try and drop the bomb on the floor and eject from the floor, but there's a chance you just die, so that's riskier. So, holy shit. But this... it should work out because, like, they duck and cover anyway, and they don't have enough people alive to really finish off. So, that just happens, but the theory is very important to understand. When you are stalling, you are stalling. You want to be doing stuff that will keep you alive and on the point and a threat on the point as long as possible. And survival is your highest priority. You want to be maximizing your survivability at these times. Coffee. Delicious.
Yeah, they're coming upper left side right now.
I like the salt. So yeah, we want to be down here. Nice, good job. Perfect. Fucking perfect. This actually makes me so happy to see. Where we just drop down and we just drop the defense matrix on these two people. Why is this so good? This is so good because this is, and like this might be your support reflexes kicking in, but to me this is the most vital part of D.Va. These two guys made a play. Okay, they made a play. Doomfist went in for a punch. manage to get a kill, Reapers run forward and try to kill some people. They are making a play. You are facilitating them making a play by activating Defense Matrix. Right? You are cradling these young baby birds in your hand and saying, you can do this. It's okay that you got flashbanged here. I have you. You're okay. It's all good. It's all good. Right? This is what you want. This is good. This is good D.Va stuff. Then they get out and look. Well, no, this is then when you have that moment where like this guy just like goes in even deeper and then like goes around the corner and fucking dies, and you just like, you stupid bastards. Yeah, that's also a support feeling as well. The Reaper, you notice he got the fuck out of dodge. Like he could have just gone behind you. I think he dropped all the way down, which is a mistake. But hey. I admire optimism for healing there. I like the fact that we have time during the eject. For some reason I like this. Of just like, shit guys, yeah, where is my healer? I'm balls deep in the enemy team, but where is my healer? You know full well, okay? You shouldn't be making, this should be a considered sacrifice by you, that if you are going to go in like this and turn your big fat mechanical ass to the enemy team, you're going to get demacked. Okay, they are going to kill the shit out of you, but you are doing this to trap the Reinhardt. I would say that if you are doing this, you should actually be boosting and trying to get all the way into this Reinhardt's backside to like smush him against your team, and then just like try and drill your way through, basically bore your way through the Reinhardt to your team, because that's where safety lies. The other thing you could do is turn around and you could just try and block the two people, like basically block the doorway and then let the rest of the team deal with this. Either decision works. Personally, I think I would make the decision to try and block the door, but both of them have their decision points and both of them are fine. And I say the reason why I block the door is I think there's a bigger threat of the three people in the doorway doing something than the one Reinhardt behind you.
My ultimate is charging.
Going from "it's okay, I've got you" to "you stupid bastard" is too relatable. Yes, as someone who plays Anna quite a lot, that's like how I exist. Frankly. Okay. Shoot arena.
Upper left side once again.
A little bit closer would be nice. There we go. Nice. The reason why I say a little bit closer is there is kind of no reason why we shouldn't be here. Because if we're here, what we can do is straight away, if we're in trouble, we boost up here. If they start pushing in, then you're just there to meet them with more damage. So we're basically like, the only difference between being here and being here is that this is less of a threat, but if they're pushing in through here, they're not shooting through here, you know? So like this pathway here is not a threat while this pathway here is activated. If that makes sense, or while this pathway is being used. So we don't have to worry too much about like line of sight here. It's very rare that you would. Because you see how low this Winston gets? I'm gonna be cruel and say that is the difference. Like that damage is the difference. Nice. But we end up in the right place. It's nice how effective that feels, isn't it? It's Mr. Unimpeachable himself. As ever, McCree's instincts, it's McCree's instincts are unimpeachable.
Sometimes you scare me.
Wow. That's a very fitting voice line. They can't shoot from the wooden hallway? What do you mean the wooden hallway? You mean like okay, someone flanked over here, then it doesn't matter where you stand. So that makes no difference. And they can't, like, if you're by the corner, like, you don't stand in this window, you stand towards the balcony. And then if they're pushing through here, like, let me put it this way. If the team is pushing through here and, like, Tracer is, like, stood here shooting through this to try and hit you, your team is winning. Okay? Your team's in a good position. Because like this corner here, this is where you'll see Winston's usually hang out up here a little bit more, but sometimes they'll just drop down here. And like hanging around here is really nice. This is like a good position in general. Because it's harder to see over here, and you can easily escape upwards as long as you have the mobility stuff, and if you need healing, you can go down here, you can go down here, you can get to the point easily, you can see if they come through main, like it's just a good position. So remember, this spot is good. Good positions are where you're effective, where you're safe, where you can do things you need to do.
All the way over there.
This should be us dropping down. So What did I say about the trailer? What did I say about the literally? No, he's doing it. He's doing it. I mean, he doesn't kill anyone. Because, you know, they're not running an attack Symmetra, but hey. A little bit frantic. I like the bullying. I like the bullying, okay? I'm a big fan of this bullying. I friggin' love the bullying. It's beautiful. Alright, this is what we want. Winston's are just like Ryan. Is Ryan still here? Ryan, how does it feel when you're playing Winston and a D.Va chases you down and like knocks you all over the place? It feels like shit, right? You feel amazing as a D.Va. It feels like shit as the Winston. Oh my god. Nobody likes that feeling. Nice. Like we. Good. Good. Okay, take a time. Looks like they're going through main again. So actually, no. Before I continue, there was one very very important thing. This speaks to the Reinhardt as well. So if you are a Reinhardt player, this is also very important to understand.
Doomfist, you're sure you want to be all the way over there?
So they come in through main. And like a Tracer just appears on the point, okay? So let's say, just for the sake of argument, Tracer comes in here and just stands on the point. Right? And then now let's deal in some hypotheticals. Let's say instead of attacking through here, their team actually attacks on high ground. You don't want Reinhardt to be the one jumping down here, right? Because if they attack on high ground and there's no Reinhardt up here, their team just pushes through without issue. This is normally why you'd see Winstons get picked up on this map, by the way, because they can just freely bounce between here. So anytime that someone has to drop down to the low ground, the tank with the most mobility should generally be the one to do it, which is normally going to be you on D.Va. If it's like D.Va Winston, it should still be the D.Va doing like the mobility thing of dropping down first. The reason why is because D.Va has more one-on-one power. So if you're locked in a one-on-one fight with someone, D.Va's more likely to win it quickly and efficiently than the Winston is. So like your first instinct here should just be to go. Ideally, it should be to jump down and then just run at her. Should you discuss that with the team before the map? If you're both up on the high ground, like if you're both playing high ground, it's like, well, yeah, if they get on the point, I'll go down first, and like Ryan will stay up here unless they're all down below, then sure. But in my mind, it's something that should permeate like global consciousness. But that's me being an optimist. And like there are players in Masters who fuck this shit up, so game knowledge is not Overwatch's strong point, unfortunately. The spicy 15-player kill streak, though. I like the fact that we don't bother chasing the Tracer around. There's no point. We don't kill her efficiently. She can just blink away. It's difficult for us to do. Just want to be a little bit careful. That's a clear tell that they're going low ground again. Keep your eye on that low ground. Okay. I don't like the fact that this happened. So we go here. If a fire strike comes from the low ground, chances are the Reinhardt is on the low ground. We know that like Reinhardt is like down here, right? And he's got his big hand and he's giving us a wave. He's got a very big hand. He's going, hello! Right. Right, Reinhardt's down here, okay? This is Reinhardt. Hello, Reinhardt. Good to see you, friend. If Reinhardt's down here, where's the rest of their team likely to be? It's also down here. And I know before someone says, but this is Plat, so they're probably all over here, actually. We just have to pretend that people are rational, sensible beings for any form of education to work. Because if we just accept the madness, then we are no better than animals, truly. Okay, so we assume that most of the team is down here as well. So what we should be doing is we should be moving to this edge and just like keeping your eye on this. If they suddenly come in with like a large-scale surprise attack from here, I would be very surprised. And they'd be doing it without the Reinhardt as well. Doomfist doing Doomfist things. Doomfist was waiting on that ambush position, jumps in for the flank, kills the Zenyatta, and then promptly, instantaneously dies. This is where I really wish their team had a Mercy, just to res that. So yeah. So again, situation where we should probably be the one jumping down first. Up here we are not very effective. Okay. Okay, I don't like a lot of our decisions at this moment. So, let's talk about bridges. Bridges are pretty cool. These are a big deal for D.Va. So when D.Va, like D.Va is like, you know, if we draw D.Va, it's like, you know, you got the cool guns here, right? She's like got a mech here, and then like you have like D.Va in here, and she's like this, and she has like a fins, right? It's like a really huge fuck off gigantic mech, right? And then you have like, you know, and this is McCree. He's wearing his hat, and McCree's all cool, right? And he's got a cigar. Okay. If this hits this, do you know what happens? This gets launched. Okay, it's pretty good. It's pretty cool. It's an important key concept. Because if everyone stood on a bridge, especially like this bridge, and you just run into the side of them, and you knock the Reinhardt down here, and you knock the McCree down here, like they then have to go run all the way around here, or they have to run all the way around here, all while your team is shooting down at them, all while your Doomfist respawns and then like jumps out and then dies straight away again, because he's Doomfist. So I don't like how frightened we are at this point, where especially when we do this. Like, you got people down here, you got someone up here, you got someone over there. We just want to, like, rock it in. Surround, wrap, push him off, ideally. Just fill his crosshair with this. The reason why we can do this, by the way, and we couldn't do it before, even if they take us out, we just detonate the mech right there, bounce out, and we're fine. But we kind of do this weird half-half where we don't end up defending anyone. We kind of just, you know, abandon mercy. I want to mention that this is the second time we've done this exact bomb. And the second time it's done shit all. This is just a hint that this bomb is not an effective bomb. Skip it, yeah. Just continue. Good. Okay, you're okay. Remember, we're in storm mode, and honestly, this is going fine. This is more than fine. You guys have won. Easy. Okay.
Thank you.
You sure you didn't rewind it? This bomb was slightly better on the fact that we were on 180 hit points. Okay, which is a slightly better use of the bomb. But I still don't like it. I would still like to see us. Like, what you could do instead of doing that is you could just, like, run here and then just dump the bomb, like, here. It's really awkward because it forces them to go and cover on these sides of the pillars. And that means that they are running into your team. So, like, to hide from the bomb, they have to hide with their backs towards your team. Where the bomb is now, they just, like, move to here and to here. And then that's out of the protected from your team and the protected from the bomb. In theory. I mean, the Reaper should be helping, but the Reaper's running the other direction, I think. And then dies to a fire strike. Because plat. Who knows? Who the hell knows? I don't. To quote the Queens of the Stone Age, no one knows. The rest of this is fine. Like, getting high into the sky is absolutely correct because you have a Mercy, so that pulls the Mercy into the sky as well. It means Mercy survives longer. It means the rest of your team survives longer. All things centered around survival. Like minor optimizations. So there's a moment like here, I think, when the Earth Shadow comes through. It's like we're drilling the Reinhardt, and then Moira runs in front of us. So if Moira is just gonna park her ass on the front of our mech, we just shoot and kill. Great, that's what we want to do. We go and focus on the Winston. I am fine with this decision. We can kill Winston in a pretty good time. Then we end up shooting the Reinhardt. It's like, well, weren't we shooting this? Let's just finish this off first. Deal with them one at a time. Again, medium range, not our strong point. Grind down the Winston. I think there was an earlier point as well, even further back, where it's like we had a choice between shooting like a Reinhardt and the Tracer. We start shooting the Tracer, and you notice how little we do on the Tracer. Oh, excuse me.
Death Blossom is ready.
10 seconds remaining.
Don't let him down.
I'm waiting for this bomb. I can see already what's going through your head. I kind of really hope you lose this, but you're not going to. Okay. Let's talk about this. Remember what I was saying earlier about being so proud? About, like, you saw the DPS making a play, and it's like, yes, I've got you. You're my baby birds. I have you. You know, you're in safe hands here. Do you know what really makes that Reaper play safe? Is when you put a defense matrix over him and the Reaper can just do what he likes. And okay, they use Transcendence, but the Reaper 100% survives that entire play and then just turns around and kills everyone. They are fighting on the point at the moment. We are effectively non-existent in this fight at this point. Non-existent, 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 non-existent. Slightly existent, but they have a Reinhardt, so they should just barrier it, but the Moira somehow fucks up and the D.Va somehow fucks up. And it kind of ends up working out. Almost. Like, if they were just slightly more efficient about killing this Doomfist, you guys would have been screwed. No. Don't do shit like that. It's a good way of losing a game that you could have just very easily won at that point. Because if you guys then have to attack first point A, right? Spoiler alert. Let's go to a parallel dimension where they take the point here in overtime, and then you have to, because you have 2 minutes 6. I think you just get a single attack, and you only have to take 1/3 of point A. But then you end up in this situation where it's like you're picking your team for first point, point A, and you end up with this team lineup. How do you feel? Right, we want to avoid this situation. We want to avoid this shit at all costs. We don't want this over here, okay? And we look at this profile. Didn't your email say this was lost? No, I don't believe it did. Amnaxis, if you've been reading my emails, you know we don't want this person.
No one's
Mention something about good tanks are the ones you don't really notice at some point. Having a history of playing a ton of Zen with the ult is so useful, or getting into the role of playing D.Va, the ult isn't a game changer. Just turned out too tricky for me. Yeah. You mentioned in the intro, I'm pretty sure I didn't say that the game was a loss. I might have said that at a loss. But I don't think I said that there was a loss. Right, I didn't think we deserved the win. Yes, there we go. That could be it. Also, it's just it's nice to have that on my screen. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, my D.Va win rate lurks about 30%. Let's improve our ults first and foremost. Like, let's wrap this one up and then take some questions. Yeah, I feel we didn't deserve the win. So there we go. That's what I said. Lovely. Okay, just look at that all day. Okay, now's a good time to start asking questions. I'm gonna there we go. Let me load up Overwatch and take some questions. It's StarCraft. And by the way, if you haven't been watching, and I know I should be appearing on the screen any second now. Oh no! Oh, for fuck's sake! Come on! There we go. Oh, lovely. Oh, my hat's disappearing. Oh, it's too fuzzy. I think it's because of the lighting on my monitor. Should be changing in a second anyway, and we should just be able to go over here. And now I need to change it over here again. Let's do that. Where is it? Where webcam? Hello. Why this doesn't do this automatically, I don't know. Why my cat's fine here, I don't understand either. Okay, let's take some questions. If you have questions about D.Va, Hanamura, tanking, anything, to be honest. I'm sure people are going to ask about the support changes as well, right? Or like, yeah, all the changes in all the changes on the PTR. What skin should we do it in? Let's do it in this one. Nice, beautiful. sure this won't be annoying at all. Let's bring you over, chat. Okay, I'm gonna start answering ask questions, guys, because now's the time. What time is it anyway? Nice. Okay. So get ready for an extra spicy bomb. So yeah, just to sort of follow this one out, like D.Va Ultimate is a tricky one to get right. Okay, it's one of the harder ultimates because the thing with D.Va Bomb you'll learn is it's almost like it's on a curve. Okay, where it looks like this, the curve, and it's like okay, I've just realized that isn't showing up because I need to turn this off. There we go. Sorry, chat. Right. So it's on a curve, and the curve looks like this. Okay? And this is skill. And this is effectiveness. Okay, this my brain works in graphs, so bear with me. So when you're low skilled and you throw the bomb out, people will die because they don't know how to avoid it. They avoid it badly. They panic. They get flustered, and they just end up dying to it. And they go, "Oh my god, this ability is bullshit." And then you'll go through a long period of time where the bomb just does nothing. And let me tell you the big secret, which is a D.Va bomb where you just get demeched, bomb, and then remech, and you don't kill anyone, you don't even do damage to barriers or anything. That's a good ult. Right? That might blow your mind. You might be thinking, but surely I should get more value out of the back of this. Surely I should be getting kills with it. When I see people go super aggressively for D.Va bombs that kill people, they are generally just throwing it at the enemy and hoping for something to happen. It's generally very badly calculated, and it's generally done in a way that is just it's almost like flippant. It's almost like, yeah, we're just throwing the bomb, yay, it might work, oh no it didn't, okay. And they waste this thing where they still have like 600 hit points, they throw it in, and nothing happens. That's a bad ult, because you've just used the ult and you've got no benefit from it at all. Right? The way that D.Va ult works is the value doesn't actually come from the explosive itself, right? The explosive is not the big factor of the ultimate. Instead, what is the big factor of the ultimate is the way it lets you play. Because you can then be that much more aggressive, you know that you can take a hammering, bounce out, bomb, and then you're fine, and you can get back into a new mech. As long as you're being sensible about it, you'll get back into a new mech pretty much every time. Okay? That is the value of the D.Va ult. It's not the actual self-destruct, it's the same thing as Winston. It's the same thing as Primal Rage, where Primal Rage, its value isn't really in the Primal Rage itself, it's in the fact that you can go that little bit more aggressive. It's the fact that you can just play that little bit more high intensity and get away with it. That's where the value lies. When you get used to that, then, only then, can you sort of come back on the other end of this spectrum. And then you start thinking about, okay, well, how do I place D.Va bombs correctly? How do I actually, how do I be Poco? How do I be Smex? How do I be these sort of top tier, how do I be Cool Matt? How do I be anyone who kills stuff repeatedly with D.Va bombs? Like, how do you do that? That's when you start learning that. But only when you learn the value of these ults where you just won't kill anything, but you will still cycle the ult smoothly, you'll still get value out of the ultimate because you have done damage before using it. Damage that you wouldn't otherwise feel comfortable doing. That's where the value lies. That's the key. That's the secret. Do you think Reinhardt needs a buff? And if yes, what should he get? Hey! Norok! Thank you so much, Norok. Is that a tier 3? I can't scroll down. If I change this thing, I can check. Look, it's a fancy OBS client. Tier 2! It's still beautiful. Still beautiful. Thank you so much for it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Norok. Give that man his own hypes. All his own hypes. And meanwhile, on the other monitor, still... I could just leave that up all day. Okay. Do you think Reinhardt needs a buff? And if so, yes. I think the Tracer change is actually, like, the strongest buff he's had indirectly in a while. So the problem with Reinhardt, particularly at high level, is that he's so easy to bully for Tracers. Right, he's so easy to stick, and then so what you do is you just build up a pulse bomb, you run up to the Reinhardt, put a kick me sign on his back, and then he explodes, and then you just win. Okay? Winstons can dodge it a little bit. Winstons, when they get hit by the bomb, they can try and jump and stuff like that, and drop a barrier and like try and heal. So like that's how you handle it. When you're playing Reinhardt, though, you can't do shit, and you're just going to take like the 395 or the 397.5 damage that the pulse bomb is going to do to you, because it does well, no, it's more than that. It's 597. No, it's 98, isn't it? Because you only do 2 damage with the stick, rather. No, it's 97 then, because you do 2 damage with the stick, 395 with the bomb. Okay. So, yeah, anyway, it's bad news for Reinhardt, right? Because he normally just dies straight after. It's going to be a bit harder to kill him now, and that will make him more effective overall. I would like to see where he lands after that. I think that Earthshadow still needs tightening up. I'd like to see Earthshadow just feel more consistent and more reliable. If they get that better, then sure. Like that, I think that's the biggest change I would like to see to Reinhardt. Josh, how can someone have 155 hours on Symmetra and hope to rank up? I think a man who has 155 hours on Symmetra doesn't care. I think he likes his brown waifu, and he's going to pick his brown waifu nonstop. Oh god, hi guys, I fell asleep. Thanks. How would you recommend the good? Would you recommend the good defensive position on a high ground point 2 for Winston 2 as a starting point before you see the enemy approach? Yes. So what he's referring to is what I was mentioning earlier, where it's like, if I just try and draw this from memory, like a little bit of perspective. So it's like that, and you have like the doorway here, and then you have like the corridor here, and it's like this, and you have like the doorway here, and then there's like a doorway here, and it's like this, right? And you have like the pillar here, and then it's like the rest of the balcony here, right? He's talking about here, okay, where you have like your team normally defends up here, and like this is a wall, by the way. Okay, your team, like, I was talking about this position up here. Yes, this is a good position for Winston to be in, because what you can do is you can peek down. You can even, like, poke your nose in a little bit and just get a little bit of damage and then bounce out straight away. In general, this is a little bit less effective for Winston, because you do have to close that gap a little bit. But yeah, you can just, like, cause pressure. And the moment you're feeling threatened, you back off, you let your supports, who should be at the edge here, heal you up, and then you just bounce out. Did you play Rialto already? Sorry, 900 IQ Ryan buff. Putting a shield up doesn't slow him down. It would make him very difficult to... you run into like the Brigitte issue of where if Reinhardt's just charging at you and he has his barrier up, you can't do shit. Whereas at the moment you could just sort of run away. So I think that's... I'm not so sure on that. I want to see how this Tracer change pans out first. Did you play Rialto? And if yes, what is your first impression of it? Seems an interesting map. Seems very open. Like, the general gist of the design of Rialto I've seen is that you have like a big open space normally, a huge open courtyard, and then there's usually like a bunch of routes around the courtyard and stuff like that that sort of let you sneak around. So it's like, like the first point has like the corner here, and you have like a building here you can go through, there's a building here you can go through, you can even go all the way around. Like the first point ends kind of here, right? And then you have like this big courtyard. You can even come in from like this side. It's like, has these huge open spaces, but there's a lot of little pathways around it. I think that sight lines are going to be very long on that map, from what I can tell. There's one or two concerns I have, especially on third point, where the defenders can basically see into the attacker spawn. Widowmaker is bullshit on that point. I think that needs changing. They need to just add some line of sight blocks. It looks like an okay map. I think that if they make sure... the biggest thing they need to not do is fuck up on the spawns, and I think they're going to be fine. Because my only complaint with Blizzard World is like where the second point spawns are. And like how the second point ends, it feels very like unfun. It feels like the defenders have too much of an advantage there. And like they fucked up on that on Horizon, they fucked up on that on Thingy, on Blizzard World. If they get that right, I think the map will be okay. Is there a light in the crystal ball for my D.Va future? You honestly, like, the fact that you have a 30% win rate is somewhat surprising to me. I wouldn't be too down on yourself at the moment. The big thing, again, is work on those ultimates. You seem to understand at least a little bit about how to facilitate a play and how to, like, help your team. The hard part with that was the team was so discordant and so difficult that you couldn't really work. So yeah. It's like D.Va, and let me put it this way as well. If you want to go and learn D.Va, go and learn D.Va. She's superb to learn. She's a very powerful hero. She was nerfed recently, but she still seems to be very key in the meta. You are fine playing D.Va. So, yeah, like if you want to learn D.Va, learn D.Va. Just remember, you're a tank, you are a hunter-killer, but you are a tank at the end of the day. Your job is to isolate threats that other people might not be able to deal with, and then handle them. Go with that. Officer Doppus. I've seen the PTR Lucio, and as a Lucio main, I think it's a nerf to those who practice rollouts and wall skimming. What are your thoughts? I can appreciate why you think that. What I would say is, like, bad Lucios will still be bad Lucios. Yes, it does offer a smaller margin overall of like what determines a good Lucio and a bad Lucio. But I think the side effect is that you are going to have less occasions where you're wall riding and you hit like a little dude out on the wall and you just get like popped off it, and then you can't get back onto the wall for whatever reason. That is just going to happen less. And now the wall ride is more consistent and overall is more reliable. And I'd say be happier about that than being frustrated that something that you are good at was tweaked to be a little bit easier for other people. I totally get why that's frustrating. But look at it from the flip side of a thing that you are good at and practiced at is now easier to do, so you can do more with it and you can focus on doing other things. And like the bad Lucios will probably just like wall ride and just wall ride straight, while the good ones will still somehow magically like bounce all over the friggin' place somehow magically, right? So there's still plenty of space for a good Lucio. And because you can now detach from a wall and reattach to the same wall, like that opens up a lot of options if you master that. A good way to evade D.Va bombs on Pharah. Actually, wait, I missed one. Not about D.Va, but I have a feeling I'm too aggressive as Lucio sometimes. How can I get a good sense for the right amount of aggro and not always be the first on point? Don't be the first on point. It's a simple answer. Basically, the thing you got to keep in mind is when you're playing Lucio and you bounce off walls, you are moving faster than your team. The moment you bounce off the wall, you move faster than your team. That's not ideal. The first person to hit the point should be a tank, right? So what you want to do is like, if you're leaving a point for the, if you're leaving a spawn for the first time, or like Koth, and you just like dash and you bounce off every single wall, and you end up on the point first, what good does that actually do you? And odds are you've left some poor fucker on your team in spawn, right? That's not helpful. That's not good. You don't want that. Why would you want that? That's bad. You don't, no. So what you want instead is just make sure that you are inside your team. Make sure that like your team is only as fast as the slowest member. So just go and make sure that you have them picked up, and then you're pushing the tanks into position. That's what you want to be. And otherwise, like if you feel you're playing too aggressive, just try playing less aggressively and see how it goes. The thing with Lucio is this: against certain heroes, you can go aggressive on one-on-ones, like Widowmakers in particular. Widow versus Lucio is a pain in the ass, where the Widow basically has to land 3 body shots or 1 good headshot to win, but the Lucio can just do so much damage so quickly to Widow, because Widow has actually quite a, like, hello. She has a very large head, believe it or not. It's enormous in game. The hitbox is massive, so it's really easy to just take her out. Okay. A good way to evade D.Va bombs on Pharah. So the counter to this is actually how do you catch Pharahs with D.Va bombs? And I think that's actually a better way of figuring this out, okay? The way you catch a Pharah with a D.Va bomb is you wait for the Pharah to rocket boost, and then you just throw the D.Va bomb at her. It is literally that simple. When you have a pharmacy and you see the Pharah go up and the Mercy Guardian Angels, you just throw the D.Va bomb at where they are, and they are dead. Because the time it takes for the Pharah to drop is enough time for the bomb to travel and reach her and just detonate and kill her. It's very difficult to get out of that line of sight. So what you need is some form of, you either need some cover or you need some high mobility option where you can concussive blast off something and just get away. It's difficult to do, and it's intentionally difficult to do. D.Va bomb is one of the best counters to pharmacy, and there's a reason why like D.Va is a Pharah counter, and that's part of it, to be honest, is that you have that extra option of just killing pharmacies. So it's like, be very careful with your rocket boost, and then whatever you do for the love of God, don't rocket boost out into the open, because that's the way you really die. Because then you just get exploded in a dramatic way. Boom! Ah! Right, it's exciting. Okay. When I play D.Va, I tend to go in trying to get value, but dying quickly if I don't have ult. What indications should I use? Should I use to prioritize aggression versus defensive play? How many people are there? Is the bottom line. So what you're probably finding is like you're charging in, and like you're running into like their front line. So like their Reinhardt's there and he's blocking, and they have like all their peeps are like here as well. So you got like peep 1, peep 2, peep 3. Okay, and all their peeps are over here, and you're going in and you're like standing in front of it, and then they just all shoot at you and you die. You can't do that. What you can do is if they like send a Winston into the back line and you just go and chase it, then you just win that fight. Right? The Winston's then screwed. So this is what you're good at. This is what you want to be doing. What you don't want to be doing is directly engaging their entire team at once. That's when you throw out the defense matrix and just back away and say, whoa, this is a main tank's job. That's not me. Ooh, Reinhardt, get here. Winston, put a barrier up. Orisa, drop a shield. Like, that's when you want those guys doing that job. So that's sort of where that ends up happening, is you are sort of overestimating the impact you'll have when you just, like, run into a group of people and it's like, yeah, I'm going to charge in and fire on my missiles and do all this damage, and then you charge in and then you end up surrounded and just killed. Because that's kind of how D.Va works in a group. D.Va kills things one-on-one, but it takes a little bit of time. You've got to appreciate that little bit of time, and when you do, then it's fine. It's sort of figuring that out and figuring how much can you kill when it's like a one-on-one, when it's a two-on-one, when it's a three-on-one. When it's a three-on-one, that's when you want to be thinking more about, okay, can I get some damage in? But mostly I want to be defense matrixing and getting out, and then re-engaging. It's a little bit like Tracer in that you can generally disengage from fights you don't want when you're playing D.Va. D.Va 1, the Winston ult that doesn't nerf your damage. Yeah. Best D.Va counters? Like the obvious answer is Zarya, but Zarya just doesn't see that much play. I'm a big fan of Roadhog as a counter. The thing is this. When I say like Roadhog is a D.Va counter, what I mean is D.Va generally works by just trying to block some damage here and there, but if you land, like, she's quite easy to hook, but then you have to have like everyone just burst her. Like, when everyone just, like, throws damage into her, then she explodes. So you want to just, like, make sure you're hooking her in front of your entire team, not just in front of yourself, because then you just fire a shot and she just defense matrix and flies away, and she's fine. Do your best Fran impression right now? No, because that'll get me banned from Twitch. Lol. Swaggins in here. Swaggins is here? Swaggins. Nice. Any advice for someone trying to... Oh, by the way, other good D.Va counters, Moira. Believe it or not, Moira is actually surprisingly good. Reaper, McCree, anything that can just burst her down. Headshots are really good. Widowmaker, actually surprisingly good, because if you can land the headshots, it's smaller than you would think, the head hitbox. It's not actually as large as like a lot of people make it out to be, but if you land 2 headshots, she just gets DMX straight away, and it's pretty big value. She's not that difficult to headshot, so Widowmaker can actually do surprisingly quite a lot to D.Vas who are greedy and out of position. But that's kind of true for everything, right? Sombra, actually, just looking over here, Sombra can mess her up quite a lot, but Sombra doesn't kill her well. So that's sort of the trade-off, is that she has so much armor that Sombra won't tear her to pieces very quickly. You need someone else to finish her off. Any advice for someone trying to play main tank in the current meta? I feel like it's very unforgiving at the moment for main tank players. God, I hate Sombra. Yeah, you have, you know, I feel bad for you, son. Winston, Orisa, avoid Reinhardt where possible, being honest. The only exception is like on very specific maps. It's the pizza. It's repeating on me. Very specific maps, like, for example, Lijiang Control Center. It's normally a more Reinhardt-centric map, for example. But in general, like, Winston is going to just do you better overall. It's just harder to stop the Winston doing what the Winston wants to do. Hack is always going to feel bad. Always going to feel bad. Just know that if they have a Sombra and you get hacked, your job is to survive more than anything, and if you can survive the hack, then you can, like, she's screwed. Because she needs to really be getting kills off that, because she doesn't do enough damage on her own, so it's like, you outplay the Sombra by just surviving where possible. It's not a good meta for you guys at the moment. That might change. You might see a lot of blobby tank comps because Brigitte. We'll see. Good way to snipe pharmacy with bombs. Hey, we answered this already. When fire rockets up, and especially if Mercy follows, and she normally does, throw a bomb at it and it dies. Easy. Easy life. Yas, queen. Slay queen. Give us your best, quietest nya for all YouTube to hear. Nya. There you go. Let's see. Always got to fetishize it. What? I haven't fetishized anything, I think. I believe. Apparently. Maybe. What do you think about the Horizon changes? They looked good. So if you haven't heard, I'm going to steal Sty's content. I'm sure he won't mind too much. Watch him suddenly pop out of nowhere and start raging. I mean, being fair, this is someone else's content that Sty's, I believe, asked permission for, but as I work with Stylo, so I'm fine sort of stealing it. So this made it on, like, leaked its way onto leaked its way onto the PTR unintentionally. And so there's a number of changes. The big one is Sty's nicely highlighted here with nice yellow circles, so I'm going to go over them with magenta ones. Is that there's now cover on the high ground here. The other big change is this doorway. There's no longer a doorway on this side. The doorway's now over here, and there's no doorway through here either. So, like, getting to the point is actually a little bit trickier, and there's a lot more defensible positions. So it's like they want Horizon to be more defensive oriented. And then, like, the second point has a number of changes on it as well. So let's go over here. The biggest one by far is the Sty is highlighted quite nicely with this big blob here. There's normally a bridge here. And normally like, this bit of terrain here doesn't quite exist, but this bridge has been removed. Okay? So there's no bridge here. He's talking about putting soldier on the bridge, which is a big deal. Defenders now have cover over here. There's also a high ground platform over here now. And yeah, there's like I think there's like a pillar here-ish normally as well, so this is more opened up. The spawn has also changed as well. So it's all kind of changed. It looks good. It looks better than it is. Like Horizon badly needed it. But yeah, like they're clearly experimenting things. The one thing I would say is like, sure they're experimenting with things and like it looks a little bit rough in places and like it's not properly populated with like doodads and stuff, like, you know, little details like this. Generally like the areas look quite bare, but it's populated enough where it looks like someone has clearly put a little bit of attention in making it look like it all visually fits. So that's the one thing I'd say. Wow, that's a very cute for Hio. Is D.Va being a must-pick an issue in Overwatch League? I was aware that teams for the longest time were saying that D.Va was busted because of defense matrix, and even now she's defense matrix. Even now, still, but is she all right now in terms of she can fit with main tank and sustain? I think the big thing with D.Va at the moment is she's just a better option than a lot of other off tanks. I think at this point, after the changes they've made to D.Va now, I think they need to just look at bumping up the other off tanks. Like, I'd like to see Zarya especially needs a little bit of love. I think Zarya mostly just needs a little bit of love. I think Roadhog's in an okay position. And beyond that, like, I think the off tanks are generally okay. The issue is defense matrix is like, it's just a very powerful ability theoretically, right? It's just kind of hard to get past. The ability to just like block off an area and say, yeah, your bullets don't work here is kind of redonkulous. That's just going to be powerful no matter what. Like, it counters ults and it's like a single button press and it's pretty simple to do. It's always going to be good. But it's at a point now where it's like very difficult. It's not difficult to use, but you don't get much of it. So that feels more correct. I've always, I mean, even since early, like, very, very early days, I was advocating that D.Va should be the more aggressive option. Like, Winston is the high mobility defensive option where he, like, bounces up to targets, slowly whittles them down, and will eventually kill stuff, but does it slowly. And D.Va, excuse me, should be more high intensity, more aggressive. I mean, like, D.Va has this aggro mech. And, like, part of why they added the missiles was because you have this fantasy when you're playing mech, like they talk about player fantasy a lot, and it's like, yeah, you should be engaging, like fighting stuff. Like, that's how a mech should feel. It should feel punchy and powerful. D.Va never had that before. Now she kind of does, and that fits better. Beyond that, it's just a matter of like keeping the defense matrix under control, and then making sure the other off tanks also have their place. No, excuse me. And I think, like, she's highly mobile, she's good in many situations. She counters Tracer in a way that other off-tanks don't as well. So we'll see how the Tracer nerfs land. How toxic do you think D.Va's stream chat is? Very toxic. D.Va, come on, D.Va likes his, you know, is the CZ modes and shit. She's terrible. Shanghai are going up against Mayhem tonight. Is this the best chance to get the first win? Overwatch League Doomfist? Yeah, it's a pretty good chance. Like, against Dallas was always a good chance, but the thing is, I'd say that Florida are on an upswing. Yeah, I mean, it's not improbable. They have a shot. I would be pissed if the desk was like, oh yeah, this is Shanghai's must, like, this is Shanghai have this. Oh yes, totally. I think that's very disingenuous and very unfair to Florida, especially with, is it Awesome Player or Saya Player? I'm going to mix them up. I apologize. I'm terrible at names. Florida. Why can't I just click that and get the goddamn roster? Yeah, it is Saya Player. Good. Is it also Awesome Player? Am I crazy? Yeah, it's Awesome Guy and Saya Player. Like, with Awesome Guy and Saya Player, they've just been playing better. So yeah, safe player especially seems quite strong. So it's nice to see Florida looking good. I think Florida will still win. Okay, hello there. Hello there. Greetings, friend. Greetings, traveller. Well met. Oh, we heard earlier as well that Ben Brode has left Hearthstone. Makes me sad. But I've already been addressed, but how do you prioritize remake bombs versus kill zoning bombs? We basically spent all coaching the mini talking about that. So I'm not going to go over it in detail. Just in general, focus on remaking bombs. Get good at those. Get good at exploiting the ability to remake first and foremost. Prioritize understanding how to get the most out of your lifespan before you need to force the bomb to remake. And then learn how to do the fancy kill bombs. Because the worst thing you can do is like just try lobbing bombs and getting no results, and you're still on full hit points. Because those are complete wastes. It's much easier to get value out of just hunting and killing targets and then remaking. As before you had answered, yep. It's okay, I'm quite used to it. So your player is really good? Yes. Ben Brode makes every fan of Hearthstone say, yeah. At least I hope so. I'm sure there's some fans out there of like, good, he was ruining the game. Bah. Ben Brode was destroying Hearthstone. Bah. He introduced all the bad things, and it's all his fault. Bah. Like, I'm sure those people exist, but screw them. Ben Brode was lovely, and like, you know, if Hearthstone, Witchwood, card reveal, you know, the anytime where you like,
it was just surprise.
where you have like Day 9 and Ben Brode,
This is the final
like,
reveal stream for the Witchwood. Oh,
like just any time with these two on screen is like pure magic to me. Although, poor Day 9, poor Day 9's forehead. It's gotten bigger the longer he's been around. And I know how that feels. Trust me, I'm keenly aware of how that is. But yeah, Dragons were able to take control from Dynasty. Dragons have beaten Dynasty like 3-1 in the past, or looked okay against Dynasty. Dynasty always look bad against Dragons, but it's because Dynasty fuck around against Dragons, I think, more than anything. So yeah, it's yeah. But this match is becoming too predictable in the open areas, 3 points being tight and the like. Third point being tight and the like. No, I'd say that's just like a standard way of making it work like that. Actually, I'll keep chat and stream. What I'm going to do very quickly is I'm going to put up coaching on screen, like kind of done on questions now. If you do want to send in footage, please absolutely do so. I need more footage. So if you send footage in to oemreviews@gmail.com, include the hero name and the rank in the title, include if you're a Twitch sub or not. Today's was. You can see Agman is here. Thank you, Agman, for submitting footage. So it's always a brave thing to do, but please do submit footage. Just upload it to YouTube. Nice high bit rate is more important than a high frame rate, so focus on getting that right. 12K bitrate is ideal. 30 frames per second is honestly fine. Don't worry too much about that. And like 720p is honestly fine as well. Bitrate is the big deal. Okay. Otherwise, yeah, thank you for joining us. But instead of just closing out the show, what I want to do instead, I'm going to go up to the big screen with my face on it. So if I go over here, we have like 20 minutes before Overwatch League starts. So instead of just like throwing you guys to Overwatch League now, what I'm going to do is open up the PTR. We are just going to take a look around Rialto. And what I want to do is take you guys through like how I at least address a map and how I think about a map and how I think about the space of the map going forward. Because I think that'll be somewhat useful. So I'm just over here for a moment or two. And I'll tell you what, chat. If I copy the chat box and I bring you guys with me over to here. Paste, duplicate. No, I need to update apparently. God damn it. So if chat you just want to type, I'll tell you what then, I'll bring this up, high monitor capture. I'll close this. Okay, why isn't chat popping up? Did I paste it badly? Paste, duplicate. Now able to duplicate chat box too. Oh. Actually, this will be fine. If I go over here, don't mind me. No, not that. Shit. Copy. There we go. Come back here. If I just click here and let's say like paste, duplicate. For some reason it doesn't want to do it. Could it be this thing? What's this thing? I don't know what this thing is. Go away. PTR is updating. If I try paste reference. Try chatting. It's weird that the chat isn't appearing. Oh no, oh for fuck's sake. If I just paste again. No, oh for God's sake, that's not what I wanted to do at all. It's all going wrong. Come on, Twitch. No, oh for the love of God. Someone type. There we go. How about if I ghetto this? No, it wants to grab the thing behind it. Okay, fine, I'll just do it this way. There we are. There we are. Okay. Have we updated? We've updated. We've updated successfully. So I'm going to take you guys on a whirlwind tour of the map. We're going to look at Rialto. Okay. Let's make this into a separate video. Shall we, chat? Because why not? Why the hell not? Okay. It should be locked. There we are. Okay. Let's turn the sound back up as well. So if I go play game browser, create settings. Once you've taken Rialto off, non pure escort, isn't it? Rialto. Okay. Yeah, sure, I'll be on the map. Settings, heroes. Where are you, Widow? We want Wids, grappling hook, enable grappling hook, cooldown time, 500%. I think that just makes it faster. That's kind of what I want. Okay. Think that makes it faster? Does that make it faster? We'll find out. It might make it very slow. Let's look at Rialto.
Welcome to Rialto.
One shot, one kill.
Wrong. Wrong. Settings. Heroes. God damn it. There we go. 0%. Okay. If I just click restart. Put it as skirmish instead, it shouldn't matter. The game won't actually start, so it won't matter. We're just taking a look. Okay, let's go, chat.
One shot.
So,
one kill.
the first thing we should look at is what a dingy spawn. We're in someone's basement. Imagine owning these windows. I mean, seriously. Who lives in these buildings? This space is kind of cool. I wonder if we can actually like bust a way out. No. Okay. There's like a ceiling. Who knew? I find Tracer nerf extremely frustrating. I don't really feel like it affects higher levels where everyone is so desperate for it to be nerfed. The lower ranks 400 magic number to counter things like Bastion and Symmetra. No, it affects higher levels. It affects higher levels a lot. It means people are a lot more survivable. So we come out of the Karasimi shop. So let's start with first point, because that seems like a logical place to start, right? As we zip over. It only feels appropriate to be on Widowmaker in this beautiful environment. You should really be on the beach, Widow. So we have an Omnic art gallery. Ooh! I wonder if that's a hero. Wouldn't that be cool? An Omnic artist that like destroys people in interesting ways. So you got like this place is more than familiar if you play Retribution. So like even this sort of worries me. I've actually haven't a good look at this either. Nasri Concura. It's Fragile as well. That's Italian for fragile. Post. So we're just delivering a box. We don't know what's in the box. It's of course a very famous Venetian landmark. I'm not going to select the Piazza something. I'm not going to pretend I know what it is. We start off on Calinova, okay? Like, even this, I imagine teams won't start doing too much here, although you could definitely, like... like, I can quite easily envision, like, you can start off with, like, an Orisa here. Like, this honestly seems pretty strong. You're literally just overlooking the spawn door. Like, this already feels quite powerful to me. The one thing is, like, the sightline isn't great. And the big thing about this that's quite easy to overlook is a pathway over here. People have overlooked this pathway a lot, I think. Wow. Oh, it's spraying the wall, that's nice. It's like, so this will actually give you another route, and this gives you a very fast route into this main courtyard area. So like that's very much worth keeping in mind. Keep in mind that you can ride the gondolas. I want to ride this thing. You cannot ride that thing. I wanted to try. Ooh! Hey, we got a good view of the map. Isn't it nice? Isn't it beautiful? I mean, kind of get a good view of the play space, but hey. Okay.
Let's try that again.
So first point strikes me as being very open, and this is kind of what I mean by, like, when someone asked earlier, like, what's your thoughts on the map? It is very much open. Like, there's some interesting otherwise, like, oh, this seems crazy to me. Like, this sightline, think about how long this sightline is. Like, this is huge, and then you think about the flanking pass, and it's like, this map actually has some really nice ones. So first things first is you can actually go through this building here. So when you do get around this first corner, this building actually provides you with a lot of options. Okay, you can either go all the way around the back, even to where, oh, there's even a boat that's driving itself. That seems very dangerous. But you can even go like all the way around here, and like you can push through here. You know, there's like so many different ways you can go. You can even set up all the way behind the enemy team. So like if you're playing Tracer, for example, these are like the pathways you want to be thinking about. Okay. So stuff like this is quite nice, but then you have this space here that's so open. Like you can very easily imagine that a team's just setting up here, for example. Like set up with an Orisa up here and just play from up here. Holy shit! They start trying to fight around this corner. They're gonna have a tough time. You know, they're gonna have a really difficult time. I don't think this area is fully populated with health packs. It feels like there should be one over here, for example. You could be a bit like spicy with Widow here, for example, and then just grapple here. Hey, there's some fun spaces to play around with. I don't think... No, this isn't somewhere you can stand, I hope. No. Even can... Yeah, even like over here, like, holy shit, look at this sightline. Look how safe this is. Look how friggin' safe this entire space is back here. Very open. Very, very open. You know? And this is the big thing that I think... where they need to sort of think about this a little bit better, is like, these sightlines really seem quite open. And I think it's a little bit scary for first point. I think Widow is going to be huge. Yeah. It would surprise me if Widowmaker is not. Okay, let's move on to second. Well, so first point ends here. Holding like this point. Again, I would be very surprised if teams don't defend from like positions like up here. Over here, for example. These seem like really good positions. Okay. Second point, we get another courtyard with just a lot of flank routes. I mean, first things first, like, you get this space here. This entire area seems crazy to me. The only saving grace is that the spawn distance is quite long. Like, the defenders get pushed all the way back, like, up here. Right? So it is a long distance. But even then, they can sort of cut through, and then you can come through here, and you end up in this building, into here. I don't think they can actually come through here. No, they can't. I don't think they can actually end up coming out here, so don't worry about that. Can they come up here? No. Genji's can. Like, Genji and Widow can actually come up here. I actually remember discovering this. This is like a very cute flank route. Because it kind of puts you behind the enemy team. And you can be really annoying from here. But this pathway here seems so crazy to me. I mean, the one thing to keep in mind is that these windows don't break. Okay? So these windows here don't break. So you will actually have vision on people inside here as you're going through here. That's actually kind of a big deal. That's more important than you would think. Because what it means is, like, my fear is that, like, you're trying to push through here and, like, they're shooting at you from in here, and they're shooting from you around here and stuff like that, and then they start, you know, as you start getting closer, they can fall back. And, like, you're trying to run through, but they have ways around you that are pretty simple from up here and stuff. It seems scary. It seems a little bit scary to me. And then we have the docks. Again, long sight lines. Like, they put this thing in here to try and block up some of the space, to try and, like, cover some of the space. But, like, it's still pretty long. So if you think about, like, how long you can see, like, this seems quite long. It can even, like, be, you know, on the boats. It's pretty crazy. Hello, sir. There we go. You know, you can see quite a distance from here. These are actual physics objects. I don't think these are physics objects. It looks like you can go through them. You can go through them by the looks of things. Okay, interesting. Yeah, even like these aren't blocking line of sight. So I think they need to be like quite careful. In terms of actual defensive positions, again, I think like the point ends here. This is actually a very interesting decision, where the point ends out here in this open spot. Murderer, yes. Hello? Have you seen the hero I am playing? This is Deadly Talon Assassin Widowmaker, okay? She don't give no... She's... Like, he's lucky I didn't do a fucking somersault before popping his head off, okay? Right. Yeah, it's... I like the fact that the point is out here and not under here, because I think you just run into another situation where, like, the team's just defending from up here. Now, the nice thing about up here, at least, is that, like, the sightlines aren't that available, but I can definitely see, like, Zenyatta, for example, wants to be up here. This seems quite powerful. Yeah, in general, like, I'd say that people will probably hold relatively close to the point. It depends on where the health packs go, as well. Because the map currently, I don't think, has many. It has a couple. But there really aren't that many. Fuck your laptop. Okay. Second point, I think, is better than first, overall. In terms of just overall design. But I'm curious to see, like, how they control some of the sightline issues, because I think Widowmaker is going to be quite powerful. I think, like, first point especially, like, this corner is going to be the big one. Like, where you're going to have your main first hold, and then eventually you're going to be forced to fall back. And you could probably do a lot of harass in that area over there. This is where I have the biggest problem on the map. Okay? This is my biggest issue on the map, because attacking to third point, you see that doorway there? That's where they come from. That is literally the attacking spawn for third. So I try and Spider-Man my way through. This door here. And you can see pretty much all the way through all this space. Like, this is a long distance. This is one of the longest sightlines in Overwatch. And it's literally to a spawn door that people just blindly run out of. You can just nail people with Widow. Over and over and over again. Right? That's a concern. I definitely think that they need to be careful about that, and they might want to do something about this spawn. Now then, this choke point here, this seems to be where a lot of people get stuck, but I think people are still figuring out that there are a number of pathways through here. So, you have the main pathway here where you want to push the payload, but honestly, you have a flank route here, and crucially... Come on, Wids, work with me here. You have a large flank route here. And I honestly think that this is going to be the main attack path for a lot of, like, pushes. Because you can actually come out here. Is there any pathway here? No, I don't think so. Like this, then this is just empty space, basically. This is where there's a void. It's one of the spawns, by the way. Isn't it cool? You can see, oh, clearly talent up to no good. Machine guns and SMGs and like Reaper-esque shotguns. It's pretty cool. And like Widow's Kiss prototypes, I guess, budget versions. Little pistols as well. Why can't I hold these? I want some of these. I want one of these. Come on, please. Please. Like Widowmaker just looks sad at these. Like, oh, I can't have one. I just need to headshot people. In general, like the third point, my only issue with the third point is like this. Like this feels quite short, and this feels very underwhelming. Like when it just parks here and nothing happens. They need to have, you know, it needs to like go boo, and then like, you know, Doomfist comes out and goes power. Like that needs to happen or something, right? There needs to be some kind of cool finish. You can't just deliver the payload here and it just ends, because you're pushing it to a statue. And I know that it isn't just a statue. It is. Can I? Maybe around here. There we go. Yes, we can. It is like the coolest motherfucking spawn room in the game, right? Like holy shit! Look at this. Look at the embossed chair. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so cool. Like, look, they have logos on the seats. And look, coffins as well. Like this is where Reaper sleeps and stuff. And like they have the Talon symbol literally produces mist. Ominous mist. It's so rad. It's so cool. It's the best. Like this is where like you have your annual performance review. It's like, Widowmaker, did you hit your targets? And she's just like, fuck you. Where's my husband, bitch? You know, it's like, okay. It's so neat. I love it. They need to have something that makes this finish better. And overall, like this space feels quite small. It's very, very choke pointy. I think Junkrat is going to be super powerful in here. Yeah, beyond that, like my biggest concern is with just the length of some of the sightlines. it kind of has me excited because I like playing Widowmaker, so it's like, okay, this gives me more maps where I could probably play Widow and feel happy about it. But yeah, I'm just a little bit concerned overall. That, like, I think Blizzard might want to be careful because Widowmaker's already a pivotal part of the high-level meta, that if you just continue to emphasize maps where she's good, that might not have a huge benefit in the long term. Now then, the gondolas. Let's wait for the next one. Right? A lot of people are very excited about the gondolas. I'm not so excited about the gondolas. And you might think, oh, but this is a really cool way to get a sneaky flank route on. It's slow. It's obvious. It's nice that you can ride it, but it's not practical. It's not. And yes, they play music as well. Overall, I'd say heroes that are good on this map are heroes that favor long range. I don't think Reinhardt will do well on this map at all, for example. I think this is another Winston one. Orisa will probably be quite nice on defense. Zarya, I think, is going to have a hard time just with the amount of open spaces. So it's like damage is going to come from a lot of different places quite often. And so she's not going to quite be as efficient, perhaps, as where she is on some other maps. As we ruin someone's battery. It's a very pretty map. I like the aesthetics. As someone who's been to like some old Italian cities, I haven't been to Venice. I've been to Seville, which is in Spain, so I don't know why I mentioned it, but it's honestly not that dissimilar. I've been to, where is St. Francis of, is it just Assisi? St. Francis of Assisi, wherever he's buried. I think it is literally just Assisi. St. Francis, was that also... I think that's Italy, or was that... Yeah, it is literally in Assisi. I've been to a number of, like, when I was in the Umbria region of Italy, and it's like we went through like all of northern Italy. Like a lot of northern Italy looks like this. It is very pretty. It's very, very nice. I would go again, basically. Okay, I literally said the name of where the place is. Like, is he there? Yeah, I think he's there. Okay, right, guys. I think that'll do for now. Like. Again, the one or two things I think need tightening up is just like how open some of these spaces are, especially for attackers. The flanks seem pretty good. Tracer feels like she might be quite strong on this. Genji as well feels like he might be quite good on this. It seems okay. The only issues I have is with the spawns. I think this first spawn is a little bit dicey, and I think the third point attack is dicey as well. I don't know the fact that this area here feels so in cover and entrenched, where the enemy has to sort of run at you, but you can just fight from here anyway. Alright, and you have like good vision on all of their spawn doors. That seems quite scary. Or, like, vision on a lot of their spawn locations. Like, this gives you a bit of a blind, but yeah. Just seems a little bit scary to me. Sweet. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Okay, guys, before I go crazy. Oh, can I? No, it's not real geometry. Oh, there's a roof. There's a ceiling. I can't get higher. Uh-oh. Okay. We're okay. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. I know that Hammy's working on a lore video as well. Oh my god, I can actually get back here. How far can I go here? Nope. Ooh, god. Oh. Oh, there we go. That's probably a good place to end it. Alright, guys, thank you for watching. I'm going to pass you guys over to Overwatch League because it's going to start in a second or two. And yeah, like, I like the look of the map, but I like the look of Blizzard World. I thought Junkertown looked okay as well until you realize that it's just like a One Direction shitfest. This doesn't quite fall into the same trap. What I would like to see out of Blizzard after this map is a pass on other maps. Like, I would like to see them just go through and like polish up the other maps, solve a lot of the common issues, and then try and fix those up as best as possible. If not, start rotating maps out, because we are starting to hit a point where we just have a lot in the competitive roster. And I wouldn't mind seeing like some of those just get rotated a little bit. But if they rotate them, like, please do not just stubbornly like rotate in Horizon, Blizzard World, Junkertown, and like all the least popular maps, just to like try and force them on people, because I don't think that will go down well. I think goodwill in the community is burning away slightly. Alright, guys, thank you for watching to the end. It's been my absolute treat. Thank you to everyone who supported the stream as ever as well. Oh, Does also really pick up effect when he leaves Dallas? Oh yeah, absolutely, if he does. Do you see the new HLC? Yes, I did see the changes to Horizon. I think they look good. They do look good. Queer Cavalry. Hello. Right, guys. Spiders can't swim. They can't. Actually, well, some of them can. Some of them can, like, they build, like, bubbles underwater using webbing, and they drag oxygen underneath with them. Spiders are scary, guys. Okay, thank you, Norik, with a tier 2 sub. Thank you, Catrinks, Cat, for the host arena. Go follow Cat if you haven't already. She's a bit of a variety streamer. She's getting started. She's Valk's new girlfriend, guys. She's very pleasant, though. We met at I-62. She's very, very nice. She's lovely. Ryan with the host arena. Corey Michael Moore with the Subarino. Komorowski with the Subarino as well. 8 months. Thank you so much. Sada with the new sub. Tier 1. Beautiful. Right, thank you so much for doing that. Sharkfin earlier on today with 100 bits. Guthrini with 19 months. Simo94 earlier on today. Carrier with the one viewer host. Got you covered. Vapor Space with the 17 months. Grim Noir with the 3 months as well. Thank you so much, guys, for the support. And I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow at 12 o'clock British time. If you're up that early, we'll tweet out about it as well. But me and Ryan will be covering Broadcast GG. We'll be helping Broadcast GG cover some of the Open Division. We are going to be the first ones up, covering some Open Division games tomorrow. So we'll be covering a match of Open Division, and then someone else will take over the next game. But that will be at 12 BST, literally 12 hours ago from now. So, you know, just like flip